Good afternoon.
Welcome to an episode of Break Time with Ragtime Fred.
Break time with Ragtime Fred.
Well, you've caught us today having donuts.
Yes, we have donuts as a snack today.
Donuts are a sometimes food, so it's a little bit of a rarity.
Treat. It's a treat. These are from our local donut shop. Every town has their favorite donut shop, and Blacksburg's famous donut shop is Carol Lee Donuts, and people, after they've been living here for a while and they move away, they crave them and they miss them. So it's a good treat.
Here's a little fact I learned today. Do you know when Carol Lee Donuts started?
I don't.
May 20th, 1968.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, that's an
like
interesting fact.
Yeah.
Here's a question I have for you.
Yes.
Do you know any other kinds of art or representations about donuts? I was thinking of a dance, perhaps.
Oh, well, donuts, there is a good dance that I created. It's called Donuts Are a Sometimes Food. So, yeah.
Sometimes when our children were little, after supper we would play music and dance, and one of the dances that Bud made up was the
Donuts are
sometimes food. And then there's another one called Kick It Up a Notch. But I'm reminded of the donut.
Anyway, so what sort of donut are you going to have?
I really like White Delight, which is a filled iced donut. But I decided not to have that today and went with the simpler, classic glazed.
I'm going with maple glazed, or maple iced, I guess, in honor of our musical selections for today.
What are they today?
Today we're going to play 2 Scott Joplin songs. The first one we're going to do is probably his most famous, and I think it basically kicked off the ragtime era. And it is, of course, Maple Leaf Rag.
The Maple Leaf Rag.
Maple Leaf Rag, which was published in 1899. So, there you go. So I hope you'll enjoy the Maple Leaf Rag. And so, speaking of Scott Joplin, some people don't know a lot about him. I think he's kind of fascinating. So we thought we'd give you a few facts about Scott Joplin. Okay, so here we are sitting at the piano, which seems appropriate to talk about Scott Joplin in front of. And here's a little thing. There are three kinds of facts. There are regular facts.
Regular facts?
There are fun facts, which might also be regular facts, but they're more of a fun nature.
Yeah, fun facts.
And there are questionable facts.
Questionable facts.
I'm sure we all understand that. So today, I'm going to have several kinds of facts, and to avoid any confusion, we'll have signage. All right, so.
Oh, remember on David Letterman when they used to show writer's embellishment?
Mm-hmm.
Like he would tell some kind of story and then they would flash underneath writer's embellishment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
All right, so here's the first one we're going to have is a regular fact. Scott Joplin was born in either 1867 or 1868 in Bowie, Texas.
No, but that sounds questionable if you don't know the date.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What? Okay.
It's fine. And he died April 1st, 1917 in New York City. Do you have any objections to that?
I wouldn't know the difference. I'm
No.
going to take your word for it.
All right. So I'm counting that as regular fact.
Okay.
And here's a fun fact.
Fun fact.
This might not be strictly related, but the first rock concert that I ever saw live was David Bowie. And that would have been in 1983. Fun fact. It was the Serious Moonlight Tour, in case you're keeping track.
Well, now I want to say,
Well, what was your first concert?
I want to say now, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And it would have been the, I don't remember the name of the record. It was the Let's Groove Tonight period. It was very glamorous.
Regular fact. Scott Joplin settled in Sedalia, Missouri in 1895. And he studied music at the George R. Smith College for Negroes. Regular fact. I always think of Scott Joplin as being from Missouri, so I was actually surprised he was born in Texas.
I don't know. I think of him as being Midwestern too.
Regular fact. In 1907, Scott Joplin wrote an instructional manual about how to play ragtime music. I'm not sure, but that probably contributed to the amount of people who were writing and playing ragtime at the time, because there were quite a few besides Scott Joplin. So, wrote a book. Who knew? Regular fact. Scott Joplin was known as the king of ragtime. And the ragtime era is generally considered to be roughly the time frame that he was making music. So, from 1895 until 1919. Of course, he died in 1917, but I guess the reverberations of his music carried on a little.
Well, we're still doing it now.
Fun fact. Interest in ragtime music was rekindled in the 1970s with the movie The Sting. So we're still doing it now. Thank you to The Sting.
Yes, I have a memory of the Sting from when I was in elementary school. So a real little kid, and for a special occasion, we all gathered in the multi-purpose room and were shown the Sting. And I can remember from that movie, and not having heard it again since until a couple of years ago, the song Solace. Is that by Joplin as well? I had that tune in my head since I was a little child, and we all enjoyed watching that movie very much because it had a number of swear words. And I think they said balls or something, and we were like, ugh, it was crazy. It was so dirty.
Mm.
Salty times.
Regular fact. Maya Rudolph on the hit television show Saturday Night Live had a character that she called Time Traveling Scott Joplin. And Scott Joplin apparently enjoyed women's tennis, and so he traveled through time so he could enjoy watching women's tennis. That is a regular fact.
Oh, I switched signs on you.
But a questionable fact would be, did Scott Joplin really enjoy women's tennis? So, to maybe help answer that question, I looked up, when did women's tennis start? And
that's a good idea.
it's generally thought that actual period tennis started in 1873, although I'm sure something went on before that, but officially 1873. And in 1900 and in 1908, in the Olympic Games, there was women's tennis.
It's a regular fact, right?
So Scott Joplin may very well have been a fan of women's tennis, but we don't know, I'm classifying that as questionable fact. And I think that about sums up the Scott Joplin facts for today. Do you have anything more?
No, I don't really know much about him at all, so I've learned a lot
now
today.
Maybe you've learned a little more.
I have.
All right.
Thank you.
So do you know what time I think it is?
I bet I know. It's time for a word from our sponsor.
A word from our sponsor. And who's our sponsor today?
Our sponsor today is Mark Spraker at Onward Visuals. And his business, he's a videographer. And he makes excellent videos and excellent advertisements. And he works out of Pulaski, Virginia. And he kindly came and made the video of us playing Elite Syncopations, which we're going to show to you in a little while. Do you have information about Elite Syncopations today?
Well, I'd just like to say Elite Syncopations was published in 1902.
Oh, it's a Johnny-come-lately then.
These are some old songs.
So Mark and his team came over, and they were so professional. They did an amazing amount of work in a very short amount of time, and really made us feel comfortable. They did beautiful lighting, which was complimented. We've gotten a lot of compliments on that from other people that are professionals, and so we recommend Onward Visuals and Mark Spraker. He's a really nice guy. You'll like him.
So is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
I guess not today. I think that was probably enough.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Break
Break
Time
time with Ragtime Fred.
with Ragtime Fred.